And now someone's happy. Yes, tell me.
24.
All right, so let's take a quick look at 24. All right, now, don't be confused now. Proportions are one of the most important things. All right, when you see two fractions equal to each other, it's just cross multiplying. You see it now? And then once you cross multiply, you end up with a quadratic, and then you set the quadratic equal to 0. It does not factor, so you have to use the quadratic formula. All right, again, this is, you know, if you can do number 24, you can do everything. All right, please take a look at that. All right, that's algebra, finally. All right, that's good work right there. If you can do that, you're a good student. You know math. All right, tell me, Austin. Yeah, let's take a look at 22. Now, this one I threw in there because, again, I'm trying to teach you when you're solving equations, you're working backwards. You happy? Yeah. All right. Someone else. William. Number 8. Let's go back to number 8. And I'll let you take a look at it. There's the worked out solution. And you tell me where I went wrong or where you're having trouble. You see your mistake? All right. Common mistake is the negatives.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
Say it was -6, and then we get 16 minus the big
You listen. If it's negative in under the radical, that means there's no solution. All right. That means there's no solution. All right. Now, come on, guys. Anybody else? All right. I'm assuming you know how to do it then. If you're not asking a question, that means you know you're responsible for all of them. And some of them are hard. What?
28.
I'll get right with you. 28. Let's take a look at 28 now. And again, I'm kind of trying to teach you now too how I showed the work. Now this one was supposed to throw you off. Is this even a quadratic? No, it's just from week 1. All right, it was just solving an equation. Rivers, you okay with that now?
Yeah, I just
Now, what I'm trying to show you now, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, hey, now you see the work, you're checking your work with my work, and you say, okay, now why did you get that? Or where did I go wrong here? All right, follow the steps. If you don't know, speak up. Where are you different? Where do I need it?
you did 6 minus 7.
Right.
I did 7 plus 6.
You just forgot the negative, right? Is that what you're telling me?
What? When you
Distributing
add
it.
it, doesn't it?
6 minus 7 is -1.
Yeah. I
You're
just
not
moved-
moving it to the other side.
I moved it up.
All right, what?
why is 7x minus 2?
It's -7x minus 2 because I distributed negative. Right?
That makes sense.
All right, good. Tell me. 20, good for you, buddy. Let's take a look at 20. Now, okay, on number 20, I like because it's a little unusual because if I take the square root of 100, we have to remember to make sure that we put the what? Plus or minus 10. Max, does that make sense to you? Then I move the 3 over, so I'm subtracting 3. And then I'm dividing by 2. Now, for some reason, this is not an easy step for kids. I'm not exactly sure why that's hard, but it is. Right? You do the numerator first, -3 plus 10, and then divide it by 2. So that's 7 over 2. You agree now? And then -3 minus 10, which is -13 over 2. Is that good? All right. What?
I thought you could square root and had an addition sign in it. I thought you said like yesterday.
Okay. So let me explain where you went wrong. All right, that's another very good question, buddy. So look up here. I'm going to write something. If I say to you 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x, I can't take the square root and say that's 3 plus 4 equals X. 7 equals X. That is not true. You with me?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you is you cannot take the square root through addition. You with me on this?
Oh, since it's multiplication.
Right? But this over here is taking the square root of a square.
Oh,
You with me on this?
yeah.
All right, good, very good observation from yesterday. Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's look at 14. Bless you. Now, this one is something you can factor, and I'm trying to make sure I'm clear. How do you determine whether you can factor? You multiply the first times the last. If those factors can equal the middle term, then it does factor.
Yeah, I just forgot. I don't want to lie.
No, everything is good. I don't even care. You don't need an explanation. All right, I want you to ask me if you don't know. Anybody? Quadratics, solving quadratics, a big part of math. Anybody else?
Number 10.
Quadratic formula? You see a mistake at all?
Yeah.
You got it? All right, guys. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, real happy. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to do 5 or 6 example problems. Then I'm going to expect you to go home and do review. And then tomorrow we're going to come back and I'm going to write it all out. All right. So here we go. I want to go to quadratic review. All right, I'm going to do a couple problems in each section to get you started, just in case you forgot. Although yesterday was a really great review also. Yes. All right. And again, I'm trying to tell you, I'm not trying to beat you over the head. I'm trying to make it easy. Same exact format. This exact same format for the test. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to do the hard factoring. So let's start with factoring number 4. All right. Let's everybody try to factor number 4 real quick. First thing I want is how many parentheses? 2 sets of parentheses. All right. So now factors of 6x squared, I'm going to start with what? 3x and 2x. And then factors of 28, 7 and 4. So I'm going to throw a 7 somewhere. Can I put a 4 on the right? No. So 4 goes on the left, 7 goes on the right. And what do you know?
They're both positive.
And they're both positive. So now from that, I'm wanting everybody to just say x equals what?
-4/3 x equals -7.
There you go, man. That's beautiful. All right. Anybody? Everybody's happy? All right. So that's the factoring. I'm pretty confident with 1, 2, 3. Now solve taking the square root. All right, we'll start with number 6. There is no x term, so you isolate the square. Add 10. 2x squared equals what?
40.
Then what?
Square root.
No. Divide by 2 first, because it's not isolated yet. So now x squared equals. Now everybody's going to say we do what to both sides? Square root. But then in your brain, you're saying square root of 20 breaks down to what? I don't want you to say that anymore. 2 radical 5, but that's going to be marked completely wrong.
Plus or minus.
Don't forget the what? Plus or minus what?
2 radical 5.
2 radical 5. Now, once again, I'm trying to encourage you. If you're not 100% sure, you can speak up now. Anybody? All right, let's knock out something like number 8. What do I have to do first?
-3.
What am I doing?
Adding 3.
Adding 3, and then what? And then what? Dividing by 3. So if I add 3, what does that become? Then if I divide by 3, that becomes, everybody should be able to do that. If you can't do that, write out the steps. But I'm just sure everybody's able to look at that and say x plus 2 squared equals what? 6. Now what do I do? So I have x plus 2 equals what?
Plus or minus radical 6.
You don't say plus or minus radical 6. It's going to be a hard test for you to pass. Final answer. Final answer is what?
X equals -2 plus or minus 5.
Yes, we are good. All right, let's do 13 together. What do I have to do? Combine terms. Move this over, move this over. So how many x squareds is that? 5x squared equals minus 11, which is 380. So x squared is equal to
76.
76. Can 76 be broken down?
Yes. 36. No.
76 is 4 times 19.
It's okay, so it'd be x equals plus or minus 2 radical 19.
Okay. All right. If you're confident on that, that section now is simple. That section is simple. If you can do those problems I just did. All right. Here we go. All right. Next section, solve using the what? Quadratic formula. All right. So I'm going to start out with 15. Now, this is what I used to tell my high school kids. I used to say, look, if it says use the quadratic formula and you can factor it, do I really care?
No.
No. I want you smart enough to say, why would I do the quadratic formula if I can do it so simply by what? Factoring. That rule applies to you. Would I ask someone to do a quadratic formula? Would I make you do something more difficult?
No.
No. Right? So what can you tell me about number 15? Yeah, you can just factor it. Ignore it. Because the ultimate answer is, what does x equal? So x minus 4, x plus 2. X equals what? 4 or x equals, yeah, I'm not making you do the quadratic formula if you can just say, why would I do that when I can just tell you what the answer is? All right, is everybody comfortable with my explanation there? All right, can you use the quadratic formula on that? Yeah, you can use the quadratic formula. All right, so with that being said, let's try 20. How do I know I can't factor that? Because I multiply 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? Are there any factors of 4 that can make 7? No. So here we go, quadratic formula. So everybody's going to write it down. X equals what? Good, good.
Over 2a.
All over 2a. Good job. Keep thinking. Keep practicing. Write it down. You got till Thursday. Oh, you got till Friday. Sorry, I misspoke. Here we go. So now x equals 7 plus or minus 49 minus 4 times 2 times 2 all over 4. All right, now help me with this.
-4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. So 49 minus 16.
Which is
49 minus 16.
all over. Is there anything I can do with that? Nope. That's the answer, because I can't break down 33. Oh, that wasn't bad. Okay. Quadratic formula on 22, yes or no?
No.
No, because they can what? I can factor. How do I know it can factor? What's 4 times -3? -12. Are there factors of 12?
Yes.
negative that can be -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do what on that problem? Factor. If you're like, don't like that, can you do quadratic formula to get the same answer? Yes. All right, so let's not worry about that one. All right, let's check out 24. Does that factor? 4 times 7 is what? -28. Are there any factors of -28 that are 2? What? How are the factors of 28 going to be 2? 2 and 14, does that make 2? 4 and 7, does that make 2? 1 and 28, does that make 2? So does that factor? Bless you. No. So here we go. One more quadratic formula. Here we go. So write it. X equals. Beautiful. All right. So now X equals. What is it?
-2 radical.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. All over what? All over what? 8. All right, here we go. Now I need help with the radical.
That was no solution. 4 minus a
No, 2 negatives. What is it? I don't think so. Anybody else?
It's 112. But then you got a -4 for that. 4 minus 100.
Negative. 8.
No, I have no right answer yet.
Negative
No, no.
108.
No.
Two negative, so it'd be positive. So add it.
How much? Yes, 116 for those of you guys who are working. Right now, listen, here, guys, what I'm trying to make sure you understand is this negative here and this negative here makes it a what? Positive. So 4 times 4 times 7 is 112. 112 plus 4 is 116. Now, 116 is divisible by
29 and 4.
29 and 4. Thank you very much. So now let's go. X equals -2 plus or minus the square root of. Thank you. 2 radical 29 all over 8. Now I can divide everything through by what? 2. So I have -1 plus or minus 1 radical 29 over 4. Now, do I really need this one here? No. Do I need this one? Yes, you definitely need that one. All right. So I'm happy. All right. Distance formula. All right, here we go. At the top, distance formula equals square root x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared.
Oh, no.
There you have it. Bless you. Now on your notes, remember, this is referred to as x1 comma y1, and this is referred to as x2 comma y2. So let's do this. D equals square root. -1 minus 4 squared plus 20 minus 8 squared. 25 plus 144 square root of 169. So the distance between them is what? 13. Anybody have any questions with that? Okay, here we go. 20 minus 8. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right, now let's take a look at 29. All right, just to make sure. D equals the square root. Now, again, guys, -5 plus 11. What's -5 plus 11? 6. So I'm just writing 6 squared plus. What is 1 plus 3? 4 squared. All right. So D equals square root. What's 6 squared?
36,
4 squared.
14, 16.
So the distance is the square root of,
52.
does 52 break down?
Wait, yeah.
4 times what?
13.
So your distance is
2 radical 13.
2 radical 13. Okay.
Do plus or minus.
No, because distance, actually, that's a good thought. Distance cannot be negative. You with me? You don't say from here to my house is -5 miles. All right. That's what we're referring to. Distance cannot be negative. Negative is a direction. All right. So now the distance between these 2 points is 5. Uh-oh. All right, so here we go. The distance between those 2 points. So do I want the x to be positive or negative? So if I go 4 minus x, the x is going to be what? Negative. So in this case, I'm just going to go, well, x minus 4. So everybody's going to do this. X minus 4 squared plus -3 plus 2 squared square root equals 5. There's the formula. All right, now I'm working backwards. How do I undo a square root? Square both sides. So come on, guys, you got to pay attention. This is a good one. So now I have x minus 4 squared plus, what's -3 plus 2?
Oh, 1.
And then squared. 1 equals, what's 5 squared? 25. So everybody take a look at that. What's -3 plus 2? Squared. 1. Now, what do I have to do to both sides? -1. X minus 4 squared equals 24. Now, what do I do to both sides? Square root. What's the square root of 24?
2 radical 6.
Don't say just 2 radical 6. Plus or minus 2 radical 6. So now what do I do? What?
Or add 4.
Add 4. X equals 4 plus or minus 2 radical 6. What?
I didn't understand what you first said when you said if it was like 4 minus x, so you made it x minus 4.
Right, because 4 minus x, the x is negative. So I prefer to make the x positive, so I just go x minus 4. You with me?
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go down. Find the missing side length of the right triangle. What is the relationship between A, B, and C? What? Thank you for some words of wisdom in the back. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. C is considered the what? The hypotenuse, remember? A and B are both called what? Legs. All right, so if you want, you can draw a right triangle. This is A, this is B, this is C. Are A and B interchangeable?
Yes.
Is C?
No.
No. So over here, 7 squared plus B squared equals 25 squared. 49 plus B squared equals 625. B squared equals 576. So B must have been, do I do plus or minus? No, because we're talking about a length. Can length be negative? No, so the answer is just what? The answer is just 24. All right, let's knock out 35. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right, we got to practice. 2 radical 3 squared plus 2 squared equals C squared. What's 2 squared? What's the square root of 3 squared? What's 4 times 3? So what is C? 4. All right, now look, I went a little fast on that because I think our arithmetic is good, but some of you are a little slow on the arithmetic. So if you need help with that, you got to speak up. Everybody take a look. 2 radical 3 squared, 4 times 3. Squared the 2 and got a 4. Square root of 3, I get a 3. Agreed? Yes, sir. All right, listen, that's a nice review. Okay, so now your job, sit down, get to work. All right, try to do all the problems we didn't do. All right, try to do all the problems we didn't do. Now for me, I probably do the odds. So you get a good variety. And then tomorrow do the what? Do the evens. All right. But you got time in class right now. So get to work.